Hello and welcome to the No One Asked You podcast. This series, I am once again joined by my wonderful co-host, that darn Kitty.
Dorkus and I are sharing our experience reading The Way of Kings for the first time. Each episode, we will summarize what we've read and discuss the experience along the way.
This is Storming the Archives, The Way of Kings, and today we discuss Chapter 14.
Chapter 14!
Chapter 14. Payday. Kaladin awakes early for his first day as bridge leader, feeling determined. He calls the bridge crew to attention, and while this draws some baffled eyes, most ignore Kaladin. With everyone ignoring him, Kaladin picks out one of the strongest crew members, Moash, to make an example of. Kaladin punches Moash in the gut, flings him over his shoulder, and carries him out the barrack. Kaladin threatens to do the same to the rest of the bridge crew. Fortunately, he doesn't have to. With the bridge crew at attention, Kaladin informs the group that each morning they would practice bridge running. Expressions grow dark. Several of the crew members write Kaladin off as crazy. Moash calls out to Gaz, asking if they really do have to listen to Kaladin, to which Gaz responds that bridge leaders only have authority in the field. At that, the crew members all head off to their own designs. Kaladin expresses his frustration to Syl. In Amaram's army, he had men who were inexperienced but not blatantly insubordinate. Kaladin asks Syl to follow Gaz, who had been avoiding him. Thanks to Syl, Kaladin is able to sneak up on Gaz. He makes Gaz give him his pay an hour early, all 5 marks. This upsets Gaz, who thought he would keep 1 and 5. Kaladin goes through the process of receiving the full 5, then giving Gaz 1. He wants to make a point that he's the one giving Gaz the money. If he dies, the money dries up. The two part, with Gaz calling out that Kaladin would be unable to change anything, that he has no authority. Kaladin comments to Syl that authority does not come from a rank, but from the men who give it to you. He asks Syl to keep watch over him when he sleeps. He doesn't believe Gaz would try and have him killed in the night, but he doesn't want to leave it to chance. Next, Kaladin goes off to the carpenters. He locates a thick plank of wood and begins exercising with it, much to everyone's bemusement. As he exercises, he draws a crowd. Kaladin spends hours exercising. It feels good to choose how he would be worn down. It reminds him of the time after Tien's death, when he trained himself with the spear. He takes a drink from the carpenter's water, something he probably isn't allowed to do, though no one stops him. A couple of the bridge crew check out the wooden plank to see if there was some sort of trick involved. Kaladin dismisses the men to lunch, then goes to find a private area to collapse and rest.
Kaladin, I have something to tell you. Kaladin, this is important. I've decided that I'm glad you kept your word to Gaz, even if he is a disgusting person.
The spheres?
I thought you might break your word, but I'm glad you didn't.
All right. Well, thanks for telling me, I guess.
Kaladin, this is important.
Syl, I can barely breathe, let alone think. Please, just tell me what's bothering you.
I know what a lie is. A few weeks ago, I didn't even understand the concept of lying. But now I'm happy that you didn't lie. Don't you see?
No.
I'm changing. I know things I didn't just a few days ago. It feels so strange.
Well, I guess that's a good thing. I mean, the more you understand, the better, right?
When I found you near the chasm after the high storm yesterday, you were going to kill yourself, weren't you? I gave you a leaf, a poisonous leaf. You could have used it to kill yourself or someone else. Today, I know what death is. Why do I know what death is, Kaladin? Yesterday, I didn't know what death was. Today, I do. Months ago, I didn't know I was acting oddly for a Spren, but I grew to realize that I was. How do I even know how a Spren is supposed to act? What's happening to me? What am I?
I don't know. Should it matter?
Shouldn't it?
I don't know what I am either. I'm me. A very different me than I was a year ago, but I can't worry about that, so I just keep moving.
You aren't angry at me for bringing you that leaf?
Syl, if you hadn't interrupted me, I'd have stepped off into the chasm. That leaf was what I needed. It was the right thing, somehow.
I'm glad you're not angry, though I do think you're to blame for what's happening to me.
So, wait, this sort of thing has never happened to you before?
I don't know. I can't remember anything farther back than about a year ago, when I first saw you. That's not odd. Most spring don't have long memories. I don't know why I know that.
Well, maybe this is normal. You could have gone through this cycle before, but you've just forgotten it.
That's not very comforting. I don't like the idea of forgetting.
But don't death and lying make you uncomfortable?
They do, but if I were to lose these memories,
Scared to go onward, but terrified to go back to what you were. I know how you feel. Oh, well, that's a chapter right there. Before we get into all of that, let's go through the mysterious message. Let me first assure you that the element is quite safe. I have found a good home for it. I protect its safety like I protect my own skin, you might say.
What is the element? Is it that the orb thing?
I presume this element is whatever granted immortality to the person that he's writing to.
Okay. I get it. It's the thing that granted him immortality, so if it wasn't protected, that immortality would be under threat.
Yes. Although that begs the question is, why would this immortality source be with someone who doesn't like this other person? There's clearly some sort of interesting relationship at play here.
Yeah. So, for me, it's not guaranteed that's where the immortality comes from, but it's involved. It's something that's important because he has to assure him of its safety.
Yeah, and then what was really interesting to me was the phrase, protect my own skin, you might say, which makes me wonder if this element is physically a part of this writer.
Yeah, I was wondering what that meant. How does that work? Is it in an earring or that sort of thing? If it was an orb thing, then it doesn't make sense. Because the first thing that I thought about, because I'm like, what is our MacGuffin? The first thing I thought about was that black orb thing, but it's not protected. It doesn't fit with protecting it as if it were his own skin, mysterious person's own skin. That would be, yeah. I think your thing of it being part of him makes more sense than, I don't know, somehow it being given to Zeth. But anyway, whatever it is, I'm frustrated with the mystery.
Yes. Tell us more. We'll get there, I'm sure. And then we've got a renewed and determined Kaladin, and he's very limited in what he can do, and it seems he's choosing to try and lead by example.
Yeah. I love that. I like that it's not as easy as it was just, like him bringing the guy outside, that if we wanted the story to move nice and quickly, that act would be enough, and then we'd go, oh, you see, he's overcome stuff. It's like, no, this is for real. The discussion he has with Syl about the men of the bridge crew having nowhere to go, they can't go. They're at the lowest of the low, so there's no punishment you can give them. What he's actually doing is giving them hope through example.
And purpose.
Yeah, but he can't do it through just, I'm the leader now, you have to follow me. They have to choose to live the way that he chose to live.
Yes.
They all have to go through that crisis, basically.
Yeah, and that speaks to authority doesn't come from a rank, but from the people who give it to you. Or, place their, confer, you know what I mean.
Yeah, they place their trust in you, and they give you the authority, but now he's earning that. He has to earn it from them. And I love that idea that they thought he was using a lighter plank. Yeah, to show, or so they're like, oh, he's trying to earn our respect. So it must be a trick. And it's like, no, actually, it's for real. So it's slowly moving towards it. And I loved as well, speaking of earning respect, remember the first thing we got with Kaladin was he wears pants when that's not supposed to be allowed and whatever. Here's Kaladin. It's a small thing, but it's a reminder. He can drink from the carpenter's water because they just they immediately respect what he's done. They're like, he's doing something
I didn't
they
think it
haven't
was
heard of.
respect. I thought it was just like confusion.
Yeah, I guess it is confusion. It's kind of like, it's not all out respect. It's more like, don't mess with it. Just let it be.
Let
It's
the
not
weird
worth
guy
fighting.
go.
Yeah, let the weird guy go. But the point is, that is how he lands up with these sort of provisions being made. Because of things that he earns from people. So sure, right now it could be a bit of surprise and just like, you know what, stay away from the crazy man. Don't mess with him, because clearly he is crazy. But then as that builds, he gets that he rebuilds that reputation, or he gets to drink water. So a newbie seeing that he just drinks the carpenter's water, that's something that they would notice, like we had them notice the young boy noticing Kaladin wore pants. So we're seeing him redevelop. Also love that he says he's not the same person he was before, but he's still himself. Love that conversation with him and Syl.
We got a lot of names of these crew members this chapter. I'm sure half of them will be dead tomorrow. But no, there do seem to be a bunch of new personalities that I suspect we might get to know.
Yes, for a while at least. Or maybe they are there so we can feel bad when they die. So we're getting to know them a little bit more. So we'll feel bad when they do die. But because I'm just thinking, like, it won't be that easy that the first time he tries, he keeps people alive. I feel like they will lose their number. They will.
Yeah.
But we do need to have some notable, remembered ones that then build Kaladin's authority for new people coming in.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. If newcomers come into the crew where this is the norm, then he might have an easier time of it.
Yeah, there has to be some overlap of, okay, people have experienced Kaladin being the leader. That's how Kaladin got his reputation for being lucky, whatever, that whole thing. So he's rebuilding this whole reputation that clearly he did earn previously through the same characteristics.
Yep. I really liked the interaction with Gaz and Kaladin, and the fact that, Kaladin went through, I am paying you this money. I am giving it to you. You're not just getting it. And that Gaz doesn't really see the distinction, I think was cute.
Yeah, he doesn't notice, but the thing is, Kaladin had to do it. He'll keep doing that, I think. It's not just now for show. He'll just keep doing that and keep that message going until it sinks in.
Yeah. And then the whole Syl Kaladin conversation was great. Really, really great.
Yeah.
What is Syl? Why is she changing? How is she changing? What is she? And I love that she's self-aware about it now.
Yeah, she's becoming more and more sentient, actually. And I love that she's decided, and I'm with her on this, that it's Kaladin's fault somehow. Because
I agree.
She doesn't want to lose all that she's now becoming.
Well, why would anyone want to lose their sentience, so to speak?
Even if you knew you would regain your sentience in this cycle, I agree. I wouldn't want to lose my current sentience.
I think I said it.
Difficult.
I think I said it in a Mistborn Abridged episode, but Flowers for Algernon is a horror story.
I think you did say that.
I kid to a degree. I'm also very annoyed with Kaladin for not being more curious about it.
Well, when they did have this conversation, he is like half dead from his exercise.
True.
So hopefully it comes up again. He does think about it more. One other small thing is, he did dismiss them for lunch, as if he dismissed the two guys at the end there for lunch, as if he had chosen to, they had been practicing with him. Just that those little moments of him just exercising authority, even though there's not real authority behind it. that's part of him
Cute.
building up. Yeah, it's building it. It's building up. It's cute, but also it actually lands up taking space and taking hold. It becomes normal for
Yeah,
them.
you become the average of like the people you hang out with, and so if Kaladin is like this, it'll infect the rest
Yeah.
and just build
Yeah.
that culture among the Bridge 4 crewmen.
Yeah. But yeah, the main message of we get the main message of the chapter: scared to go onward, but terrified to go back to what you were. You know what? Yeah, you have to go onward. Keep going onward. That's what he needs to instill in the bridgeman. You know what? Yeah, cool. You're at rock bottom, but you're not going. You're not jumping into the chasm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm here for it.
I hope it works out for him.
Mm-hmm. He is picking something up after lunch. He's using that money, which we know that's what he was doing in Amaram's army. He was using his pay to keep everyone alive, basically.
Yeah. So do you think it'll be for better armor and equipment, or shoulder pads, or shoes?
Yeah.
What do you think?
That sort of thing, yeah. Shoulder pads, basically. I don't think we would get armor. One day, if one day he will get them some sort of shield. But yeah, it's about running fast. Apparently, that will help them stay alive. So
yeah,
workout time. Let's go.
Indeed. Other than that, I don't think I have much more to say.
Except like the video and
If you
follow if you haven't already.
And subscribe to that Donkita if you get a chance, because she's got a pretty great channel too. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next time.
Good, thanks, bye.